Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So I figured I would do a pick a card video because Michael totally cock blocked my doing readings and stuff earlier. I figured I'd do one now. Doesn't matter what sign you are. It doesn't matter who you're cross watching for. This reading is for you. It's just about you right now. Okay. So I have three stacks of cards. All right. You pick the energy of which one you're drawn to. One, two, three. Three, two, one. Now we're going to start with one. Okay. Whoever's drawn to one, this reading is for you. So, card number four being the number of self. Believe. You and your world have probably been set on fire at this point. It seems as though everything is falling apart. It seems as though maybe you're just not capable right now. That's a lie. Stop believing in the lies you are being told, the lies that you are being made to feel is your truth. It's not your truth. It is a lie. You are being set on fire because you are being primed to be a phoenix on the rise. So rise. Very simple, right? A phoenix must first burn before it rises. Card number 5, cultivate love. There is not enough love in your life. What's going on is that you've been giving too much of yourself away. You've been allowing too many people to deplete you. You have been allowing your perception of yourself to lessen the amount of love that you feel you deserve, the amount of love that you show yourself. No more of that. No more of that. That distortion that makes you think that you don't deserve as much as you do. That's being burned up as you're primed to become a phoenix on the rise. Okay. Next, card number 30, the perfection of your life. And this card says it all. It says it all. So, this card is about the difference in what it's like to be you and what people think it's like to be you. You're experiencing something completely different than what people think you're experiencing. You are very, very, very good at hiding things. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's not because you're shady. It's because you don't want to inconvenience other people. It's because you're worried that you're going to be too much of a problem, that they have their own problems. Well, you know what? If you don't ever let anyone know what's going on, how are they going to be able to know when you need help? Especially if you're consistently seen as that foundation, that bedrock, that support, that stability that everyone goes to. They assume your world is perfectly fine because that's what you always showcase. So it's time for you to allow the help that you deserve to be received. There will be people who will be willing to help you, and their help will not come with any strings. It's just help because they love you. Allow them to. Learn how to discern between people who, you know, kind of just do things because of what they can gain later, because now you owe them. And people who just, they don't want anything. They just want to be able to help. They just want to be able to love you. So, oh, here it is. Next, we have card number 33. So, card number 33, ninth house, faith. We travel, some of us forever, to seek states, other lives, other souls. Obstacles are being lifted. This is the house position for the sign Sagittarius, and it's ruled by the planet Jupiter, the planet of openness, luck, and expansion. This is the energy you're going to be pulling in, that Jupiter energy of openness, luck, and expansion. Okay. And honestly, luck is nothing more than preparation and timing. When you allow yourself, when you prepare yourself to receive and you just let it happen, you will eventually receive. With or without your participation, as long as you're open, you will receive. So, destiny, fate, and karma all come into play, as well as your view of what God may or may not be. With this card, it's time to consider your impending plans in the broadest terms. It means you'll have to go outside of your ordinary life to achieve your goals. So, no more of you not allowing yourself to go to the outermost limits of what you are experiencing. Allow yourself to be pushed to the outer limits of your comfort zone. Okay. Now is the time to allow yourself to expand. Now is the time to allow yourself to really reach higher levels of understanding. Okay. Depths that you never thought you could reach. Usually, when this card appears, the reason is for knowledge or for broadening of understanding. That means it's really time. It's time for you to stop being okay with just getting the bare minimum out of life, bare minimum out of your connections, bare minimum out of something you put so much effort into. Allow yourself to be pushed right there at the boundary of your comfort zone and then just a little bit further. Your next card is the revolution card. There's an internal revolution occurring. Okay. There is an internal revolution occurring, and this is something that you cannot stop anymore. You can't go back to feeling like you're normal. You can't go back to that mundane type of existence. There's other things in this life that you need to accomplish. There's other things you need to learn. And this deck, the first stack of cards, if you chose number one, this is your message. It's time for you to go beyond the ordinary, learn more about yourself and your life than you ever thought you could. It's time for that to happen for you. All right, we're now moving on to deck number two. Y'all who picked deck number two, you about to get it. Oh, here we go. Card number 21, Mirrored Souls. So, y'all, this message has to do with some sort of connection. The sun will come out tomorrow. Your sunshine's coming. Card number 8. Everything in perfect balance. There you are with your petals and your thorns. Now is not the time to forsake either. You need that beautiful balance of softness and that really raw, really, really raw, rugged ability to defend yourself. These two together, there's some shit that's about to happen. I'm just saying. Here you go. Card number 39, free from judgment, free to love. Hmm. I don't know what's going on, but it's just this feeling of you in denial. You just in denial of who this is for you, what this is for you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you already know what this is about. There you are, sitting there with a sense of longing. I'm just saying. That's not, I'm not, I didn't set you guys up. Card number 4, Venus, love. Let us see. Here we go. All right. Card number 4, Venus, love. Love is my religion, and I could die for that. The Venus card says to let love take care of it for now. This is such a Piscean card. Venus is the morning star and the brightest of the planets. It's the planet of beauty and balance and is named after the goddess of love and romance. So there you go, beauty and balance. All right. All right. Venus is very partner oriented. There's a great need to unite with another when the Venus card presents itself. This can bring on a codependency and fears of going it alone. Um, So it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic or marriage. Okay. This partnership that Venus is trying to bring to you. Um, Buying objects that are beautiful, unnecessary, or excessive may come into play when this card is drawn. So be careful of wasting funds on items just because you want them. This also applies to people. Okay. When you pay attention to something, you're buying into it, you're paying in energy. So it says, buying objects that are beautiful, unnecessary, or excessive may come into play when this card is drawn. This could totally mean buying into the story you've told yourself about someone else. The person you've identified as your twin, is that really your twin? Do you know for sure? How do you know? How do you know? Because you went to a website and they gave you all of these symptoms. Pathology. When I hear the word symptoms, it reminds me of another word, pathology, the study of disease. I'm just saying, a lot of the information that's out there on the internet regarding twin flames is a bunch of hot burning caca. Okay, it's a bunch of hot burning caca. So really allow yourself to feel it out. See if the price is way more than the value. Make sure you really use your discernment when it comes to assessing whether the juice is worth the squeeze. 100% at 44 at 444. They leaving again. This almost makes me want to cry for you. Absence. Absence. Wow. Wow. I just love disheveled hair. I don't know why. That disheveled hair is kind of like power unconfined. It's almost as though it tells the world, like, I am wild and I am free and I am sovereign. You will not tell me to dim my shine. And I think part of this comes from their absence. Michael is asking me to talk on this. A lot of true twin flame connections will experience some sort of absence, separation, because it's that very impetus that will truly get you started on the lessons of self worth, self love, self respect, about your growth. Excuse me, all of those things. And it's important for us to learn these things, because what ends up happening, if we don't learn those things, we end up not really being able to fully tap into the truth of our being, our power, our own abundance. Okay. And when I talk about abundance, I'm not necessarily talking about money. I'm talking about abundance in all its forms: love, respect, support, encouragement, just all of those really beautiful things that we as a world have a real high tendency to dismiss, to ignore. Like, so many of us are so focused just on the money aspect. Hey, this is harsh. This is harsh, but it's the truth. If you are focused on nothing but money, that is almost a surefire way to guarantee you will never have any. That's just a harsh reality of it. Because I found that people who consistently focus on money, 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 they exist in a mindset of lacking, a poverty type mindset. And I'm not talking shit about people who are poor. I'm fucking poor. I'm talking about the mindset, because the poverty lacking type of mindset, um, it consistently, even if you receive, it's not enough. You're not grateful. You create all kind of blockages. And so if that's how you want to continue to focus, what you want to focus on, by all means, keep focusing on that. But uh, that's that's what I get. Okay. So that was deck two. Let's go ahead and move to deck three. Okay. Ooh, 448. Here we go. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Gratitude, card number 15. It's very important for you to continue to walk through your life with a sense of gratitude, with a sense of awe and wonder and curiosity and just a thankfulness for whatever it is you experience, whether it's painful, whether it's something that's enjoyable from the start. It's something that's going to benefit you. And those who picked number three, um, there's this really strong feeling that you have really elevated your understanding of your life. You might not feel as though you know everything. You might not feel as though you have anything um, planned out or in control or that you've achieved things. You might not feel that at all, but still, you exist with such a grateful heart. It's this feeling, this sense, um, almost like you got this. You can handle whatever life brings you, and you just got it, you know? No comparison, no competition. It's just, you're just walking your talk. Ooh, that's tight. I like that. Card number 22, honor your mystical creative force. Now, the problem with card number 15, the problem with this is that sometimes you're just so willing to settle because you're just grateful for anything. Um, Sometimes what that leads to is a sense of you don't deserve anything. So I should just be grateful for whatever it is that comes forward. Um, that's something to keep an eye out for. Okay. I don't necessarily feel like that's an actual issue right now, but it feels like that will probably become an issue in the near future. Maybe more towards fall. So honor your mystical creative force. Allow your energies, allow your abilities, your gifts to come forward. Allow your intuition to guide you. It's time for you to stop bleeding for other people. It's time for you to stop martyring yourself for other people. Okay? Especially the people who don't appreciate you, the people who will never be satisfied no matter how much you give, no matter how much you allow yourself to bend over backwards and break your back. They're just not going to be satisfied. They're not. They're not, no matter how much you do. And the one time that you really are not able to do what they want, that's the one time that they're going to have the confirmation they need for all those ways in which they've already torn you down in their head. Okay. So it's okay to not want to disappoint people, but be aware of who it is you're not wanting to disappoint, because there's some people who are just disappointed people, period. There's just some people, they're just disappointed. No matter what you say, no matter how truthful, they're just disappointed. They're bitter, they're sour. Doesn't necessarily mean they're bad people, but it does mean 100% of the time, no matter how much you do, no matter how much you go out of your way, no matter how much you try and accommodate, it will not be enough. And if you want to continue to be around those kind of people, that's what you're going to continue to deal with. Okay. That's going to really affect your sense of self worth. That's going to really affect your internal compass. Okay. It's like, sometimes, because I'm always honest. You guys know that when the readings come up, if your soul tells me you need that message, I will give you that message. Not all messages are nice. I'm not trying to be hurtful. And I even say that, like, you're probably not going to like this. You're probably going to be upset by this, but this is something your soul wants you to know. And some people will be like, that's not what I wanted. Okay, well, shit, that's what your soul wanted to give you. Don't look and come at me. So just allow people to be who they are and decide for yourself if they can be who they are around you or if they need to go somewhere else with that. This card number 25, release the dark wound, let love live. Ooh. So you've been going out of your way to help other people. You've been going out of your way to be there, to be that support, that rock, to carry the load for other people, to provide for their needs. And what's happened? You've been taken advantage of. You've been hurt, and you've clung on to that hurt to the point where it's begun to rot. That wound, you haven't allowed it to heal. You're going to have to allow that to heal, because allowing it to rot even further is not going to help you on your journey. It's not going to help you rise in your understanding of yourself and your soul and any of that. It's just going to be something that's really difficult, unnecessarily so. It's going to be something that causes you to hurt unnecessarily. So next, ooh, card number 35, 11th house, friends. Ooh, this is looking like, I don't know, look at that. This is looking like a third party circumstance. It's looking like people are getting feelings hurt. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend. The three graces of hope, faith, and charity, the bonds of friendship. Rely upon support from friends and other associations. Don't attempt to go it alone. You will need help. Okay. You're going to need help to kind of parse through the information your life gives you. You're going to need people to um, help you stay focused on what it is you're trying to accomplish in your life. Here, it almost seems like there's some sort of interference. There's an attempt to, I almost want to say, convince you that you're not worthy of the support and love that you need. Hmm. Let's see. The 11th house has much to do with our destiny, what we decide to give before we leave this earth, our soul's purpose. The 11th house deals with a greater good and living up to an ideal. It's all about associations and how we connect to others. It's a house of group alliances, ideals, and our aspirations in public or social arena. This house is commonly referred to as the house of friends, but it is so much more than that. It has everything to do with a collective that comes from groups, people who identify and align with each other to make social change. By combining our energies with others, we can make our world, but more importantly, the domain of others, a better place. So it's like people who picked not deck, but stack three. Um, and I don't want anyone to feel like I'm trying to say anyone else is more evolved, like there's some sort of competition and comparison. But I can't allow other people's sensitivities to keep me from delivering a message to the people who chose stack number three. You guys have a tendency to be more evolved. You guys have a tendency to have a depth and a trajectory that exceeds the average depth and trajectory. Okay. And just because you are more does not mean you are better. When you are more, it just simply means you are more able to fulfill that sole purpose of service to humanity. So, y'all have a lot of things to accomplish in this life. And this is something you have to really allow yourself to become aware of. What are you here to accomplish? I don't know. But before you do that, you're going to need to establish some sort of balance between your light and your dark aspects, between your shadow and your soul, between the soul and the self. Like every aspect of your life is needing balancing right now. Hold up. There's a message coming through, but I don't really know how to put it into words. It's coming in as light language, very ancient light language that doesn't have any um, earthly sort of equal. So, King of Swords, cold, abrasive, demands respect. There's a part of you that is very cold, very abrasive, and absolutely demands respect. And that, I feel like for many of you, that aspect of yourself has been shelved and hidden away because it's like you're ashamed. Society and other people, um, they have no problem shaming you into compliance. This is about brute strength. This is about like just raw spiritual power where you have no apologies. You're just like, no, this is how it is. And many of us are shamed into hiding that. This has to be tempered though. This definitely has to be balanced with that softness. Let me see. Oops. The softness of gratitude. Okay. Look at the differences between the two. You need to have quite a bit of this in a human life in order to not be messed with. That's not the most spiritual thing to say, but it's the fucking truth. It's the truth. People will try and tell you that you need to just embody this, nothing but this, or you're not spiritual. That's stupidity. Flat out. That's stupidity. You know why that's stupidity? Because being nothing but this, being nothing but evolved soul in a human plane of existence is a surefire way to get you abused, taken advantage of, just treated really poorly. And I had to learn this firsthand. I had to learn this firsthand. The people who tried to tell me this was the only way of being, that I should be grateful, and that it's basically like it's not what I deserve, but at least it's not worse. I should just be grateful that it's not worse. Stop complaining. How about fuck you? How about fuck you? How about I know what I deserve and I can be grateful, and I could also allow myself to be cold, abrasive, and demanding of the respect that I have rightfully earned. And you guys have to allow this message in. Just let yourself think of that. Like, what am I really trying to tell you? How does this apply to your life thus far? There will never be a shortage of people who will tell you that you have to exist in this very soft, elevated state of martyrdom because it suits them. It suits them. I don't care if it suits you. If it doesn't suit my growth, I'm not complying. And I used to feel so absolutely selfish and rude and a horrible person because I finally got to that point where it's like, I don't care what you want. I'm not going to punish myself just because you like to see me cry. How many of you can say that? How many of you can say that? I'm sure a lot of you. And you don't even have to say it in the comments. This is not something that you have to admit to if you're not comfortable with. But just know you are not alone in that struggle. You are not alone in that struggle. And that struggle is to force you to see it's time for you to choose yourself. That you can still be gracious and full of gratitude while you choose yourself, creating a balance between the two. Okay. So we have Ace of Wands in reverse. False start, cloudy outlook, unrealized goal, decadence, empty existence, vexation, cancellation of plans. If you're going to cancel something, if you're going to be part of a cancel culture, cancel their ability to shame you out of being who you actually are. That's some deep shit, isn't it? In it. Yes. If you are going to participate in that cancel culture that's going on right now, cancel other people's ability to shame you out of being who you actually are, to shame you so much that you fall out of alignment with your authenticity and your authentic path. Because fuck that shit. Seriously, fuck that shit. All right. King of Pentacles in reverse. Corruption, using any means to achieve the desired end. Ooh, unfaithfulness, an old and vicious man, peril, thriftlessness. So there you go. That's the clarity you needed. That's the clarity you needed, where it's like, oh, well, actually, I needed that clarity because there was still this part of me that's like, oh my gosh, this is kind of mean. What if I'm saying things that are just mean? I need you to clarify. Hence the reason I pulled three more cards. Now it's clarified. It's absolutely clarified. That final card was just the final thing to help you to understand. Own your journey. Don't allow anyone else to tell you different. Be honest with yourself. Don't allow anyone who's trying to be dishonest about who you really are to have any kind of foothold in your energetic space. It's time for that to just stop. It's really, truly time for that to be done. No more of that. Okay. Allow yourself to be empowered and to experience the truth of your existence. You're here for a reason. You're here to experience things for a reason. All right, guys. So, everyone, I'm going to pull a final card. This is going to be for all three decks. We're going to let Kiki talk to us. Kiki, do you love me? Card number 41, to the celestial mountain. There are times when divine energy is needed to help us achieve our spiritual goals. When you do not feel completely in control of your destiny, the divine is usually gifting you with an opportunity to reach for assistance and to invoke divine power, to call to the celestial mountain so that you might be gifted with a far superior outcome. Your permission to beings that love you unconditionally to offer you help is an expression of spiritual empowerment. You empower those forces to come to your aid and help you manifest your life purpose and destiny. So, when you allow people and things to help you, it's not a sign of weakness. It's actually an exercise in power. Just like vulnerability, allowing yourself to be vulnerable is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of power, that you are coming into your power. I never used to allow myself to be vulnerable because I always thought it was a form, an expression of weakness. When I began to allow myself to be publicly witnessed in vulnerable states, I've never been more powerful in my life. Not because I have people's sympathy, but because even at a point when I feel I'm at my lowest and my weakest, I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of what I'm going through. And I have no fear of other people choosing to destroy me when I'm at my lowest because I know that's not allowed and no fucking way am I co signing that shit. I don't care how much I'm crying. I don't care how depressed I feel. I don't care how small and insignificant I might think I am in that moment. I will not co sign you destroying me because fuck that shit. So allow yourself to experience the totality of your journey. Allow yourself to receive the help that you need. And if you don't have the courage to ask for help, then please at least accept the help that's being willingly offered without you asking. This is a lesson in allowing yourself to receive. So, that was such a dramatic sound. I'm full of sounds for the past 2 days. Don't mind me. Card number 32, Tai Chi Rising. Uh-huh. Your energy field is growing stronger with more spiritual electricity pulsing through your being. Take time to nourish your nervous system as it adjusts and be gentle with yourself as you adjust to increasing levels of spiritual potency, which gives more impact to your words, actions, and thoughts. People are going to help you reach this stage. There are going to be those who help you to gain an understanding as well as an acceptance of this process. Allow it. Allow it. Card number 15. Okay. She just really up in her feelings at this point. Really, really up in her feelings. Poor Kiki. Whew. Card number 15, Ivory Swan Goddess. The Ivory Swan Goddess speaks of spiritual grace and purity. The purity of your soul light never fades. Release guilt, shame, judgment, or fear that you are not enough in any way, so that you may realize your beauty, be more of yourself, and shine your divine essence into the world. I mean, don't these messages from all three of these cards really tie into all three stacks of cards? This is really a moment of you being offered the opportunity, the option to reclaim your power and your birthright. What are you going to do with this? Are you going to dismiss it? Are you going to explain it away? Are you going to be like, oh, that was weird? How did she know that? It doesn't matter how I know that. It doesn't matter what I know. What are you going to do with what you know? What are you going to do with this information? What are you going to do with this confirmation? And only you can decide that, no one else. Do not cast your eyes away from the perception of your divine inner light in all its purity and radiance. You may find it easier to believe in the illusion of sins and unworthiness than in the truth of your spiritual innocence. Yet, just like the purity, beauty, and grace of the ivory swan goddess, Your own soul is luminous, pure, and eternally grateful. You are being asked to recognize the divine energy within you without holding yourself back from unconditional self acceptance and regard. It is time to accept your divinity in greater measure, to be present to the pure light within and not try to ignore it, downplay it, or worry that it's not enough. No matter what's happened in your life or what experiences or choices you have made, your soul light is as pure as the divine source itself, because essentially that's what it is. There is no need for spiritual shame or feelings of inadequacy. The light within all of us is exactly the same. We are just in different stages of realizing it. That's so powerful. That is so powerful. This light, this essence of who we actually are, it's all the same. We're just in varying degrees of recognition, acceptance, acknowledgement. Kuan Yin, Ivory Swan Goddess, wishes to bestow divine grace upon you to assist your spiritual growth at this important time on your path. For this to occur, you must be willing and able to receive it. That's the message. Acknowledgement, acceptance, and reception. What if what you've said is nothing but a regurgitation of what other people have told you? What if what you're reclaiming now is an actual truth, not a perception of a potential truth that might or might not contain distortions? That's deep. That's deep. Most of us, the person we believe ourselves to be, unless you've gone through certain types of experiences, it's nothing but a compilation of other people's preconceived notions, expectations of who they want or need us to be based on what they are personally going through. For example, I'm no villain. I'm not. But I absolutely recognize that some people are going through things and they need a villain. They need a villain. They need someone to fill that role of villain. And some of them choose me for that. Whether I interact with them or not, they choose me, and I'm okay with that. But their distorted perception, I have to work on knowing that has nothing to do with me. It just doesn't. It has nothing to do with me. It's not about me. It's about what they're going through, and they're just recruiting people for their life movie. I'm good. I'm good off that. So just allow yourself to take time to really, really figure out who you are behind and beneath all those layers and levels of pretense, programming, guilt, shame, all of those things. I guarantee you'll find a completely different person. Like I've always been me my entire life. I've always been me, but I haven't always been able to express that. I haven't always felt safe in my own space to be able to really just express myself as I am. The way you see me now is not the way I conducted myself, even just 3 or 4 years ago. There's a lot of editing, a lot of withholding, because there was this assumption that people weren't ready to experience me in my authenticity. And the truth is, it's not that people weren't ready, it's that I was afraid. I was afraid of how people would receive me, how people would perceive my truth. And now, because I have no apologies for being who I am, because who I am is not hurtful, it's not hurtful to other people intentionally. It does hurt for people who are not ready to hear what I'm saying. But does that make me a hurtful person? No, because I'm not even addressing anyone in particular. So now, me being who I am, I don't even have to think about it. It's just who I am. You'll get to that point too. That's the point we're all going to get to, all of us. And the only reason I got there before you was probably because I have an elevated ability to explain what I'm experiencing. And that's it. That's it. That's really just it. So that I can better assist you in understanding yourself. The only reason I got there before you. Only reason. So, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this pick a card reading. I'll see if I'll do it again. I don't know. I don't know. But please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Ding! And join me every single time I'm live. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.